Hello there folks, my name is Spooks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was Hoppers, making $4.1 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $157 million and its worldwide total to $355 million. So it has finally done it, ladies and gentlemen. Hoppers has surpassed both Cars 3 and Elemental domestically. It now sits just $5 million away from A Bug's Life's domestic total. I think it's just going to stick around there in terms of Pixar grosses, but still a really solid accomplishment. It now makes it the biggest original animated film of the decade. Domestically, on the worldwide side of things, it surpassed The Good Dinosaur and is also about to surpass A Bug's Life, and it has also recently surpassed The Wild Robots worldwide run. So this movie's been climbing ahead of like a lot of the other animated movies. It still has steam left in the tank for itself. People still want to go and check it out. The word of mouth on it has been very strong. While it hasn't had that pull or that power that Elemental did, especially internationally, this is still like a huge performance, I would say. Definitely a nice rebound for Pixar, a huge win for original animated movies, and it shows that it's definitely having that staying power it needs to compete with something like Mario. It did get hurt a bit, but this shows it was able to bounce back. And, I think it's going to continue to stabilize throughout the remainder of its theatrical run. Yeah, not much more else to say here, considering this is probably the last time we'll see Hoppers in the top 5, but still a really strong performance for this movie. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it to do as well as it has done. If it had ended up with this total right now, ending with this being its final total, I think people would be satisfied, but still, it's still going strong. Maybe it gets close to 400 million worldwide. It's probably going to crack 170 million domestically. Definitely a really strong performance for Hoppers. Number 4 was You, Me, and Tuscany, opening with $7.7 million this weekend domestically and $8 million worldwide. Yeah, I didn't have much expectations going into the weekend for this movie. I did not think the marketing or the buzz was strong with this movie, and certainly not enough to get it to where it needs to. And unfortunately, it looks like I was right to be concerned because this movie didn't really bring it. It's not going to be a huge money loser. The budget was only $18 million. It's already made, most of that back. It just needs $10 million more to make its budget back, so hopefully it can do that, especially with the strong response from audiences, as audiences have been really enjoying it. It got an A- on CinemaScore, which is really impressive, so hopefully it has some sort of legs that carry it to being at least a surprise, given the low opening. But even I have my doubts about that. We're heading not just throughout April, but also we're approaching the summer movie season, and so there's going to be a lot of competition on the horizon this movie's going to have to compete against, and I'm not sure the interest and even like the word of mouth is going to be enough to carry this movie to get it to where it needs to, really. So yeah, just a really unfortunate opening for You, Me, and Tuscany. Again, who knows, maybe with the word of mouth it helps it get to where it needs to, and it's not like it needs a whole lot to get it to where it needs to, but it is looking like a really unfortunate performance for this movie. Again, I just don't think the buzz was with this movie, and they certainly didn't do a lot to promote it. Unfortunately, yeah, gonna be a really big disappointment. Number 3 was once again The Drama, making $8.7 million this weekend. Its domestic total is now at $30 million, and its worldwide total is now at $65 million. The Drama holding really, really well. It's turning out to be the surprise sleeper hit of the month right now. Any worries about, the controversy of the premise and the severity of the issues it tackles hurting this movie's box office chances, I think have been thrown out the window, because it only dropped around 38% from last weekend. That is really impressive. It shows that this movie is kind of the talk of the town. People are really curious to see what this movie is really about and how it handles the subject matter. And because of that, again, it's turning to be quite the surprise. It's already A24's 10th biggest film ever, really, and it's even starting to catch on internationally. I mean, look where it's at worldwide. It's pretty much around the doubling point of its $28 million budget, and I think it's got a shot at $100 million worldwide, all things considered. This movie has really taken off for itself. And while I don't think the rest of the month is barren for movies, I think we were really in need of like another strong like surprise at the box office to carry us. We couldn't just rely on Mario and Michael Jackson. So the fact that this movie has found its audience and it's starting to grow is definitely really necessary for the box office to continue performing well. And it's a wonderful thing to see a movie like this, and especially a movie with a premise like this, bringing these numbers. It's always nice to see something that you least expect really overperform and defy expectations. So yeah, the drama still continuing to do really well, looking like a nice sleeper hit for A24. Number 2 was once again Project Hail Mary, making $24 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $256 million and its worldwide total to $510 million. That's right, folks, this movie has crossed the $500 million mark. This is an unstoppable force, a behemoth of a movie right now. My goodness, this movie is just not slowing down. You can make whatever comparisons you want, Sinners, maybe even Zootopia 2 with how strong the legs have been thus far, but fact of the matter is this is really the movie of the moment. People cannot get enough of this thing. It's without a doubt cracking 300 million domestically and 600 million worldwide. Again, there's just no signs of this stopping or slowing down despite, a behemoth of a movie that just came out. This is a movie that's still going strong. People still want to go and check this out for like the third or fourth time, or maybe even check it out for the first time due to all the hype surrounding this thing. And again, this wasn't a cheap movie either. It was a $200 million sci-fi blockbuster, and it's been reaping the rewards due to how excellent of a movie was. I don't know when this movie's gonna start like really slowing down or get hurt, but it's not anytime soon. Yeah, not much more else to say here. This movie is just, my gosh, again, a force to be reckoned with, unstoppable, a behemoth. What else you can describe it? Just absolutely insane performance for Project Hail Mary. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was, for the second weekend in a row, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, making $68 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $305 million and a worldwide total of $628 million. Now look, $600 million in your second weekend is nothing to sneeze at. It's already the biggest movie of the year, both domestically and worldwide. It surpassed Project Hail Mary. It surpassed Pegasus 3 in China. This movie is on the right track. It should still get to $1 billion at the end of the day. And, it's not like it's in any real trouble either. The budget was kept under control, especially for a big animated movie like this. So I don't think too many people are going to be losing sleep over this movie's performance. But I still think the fact of the matter is that this is going to be a much lesser blockbuster than the last one. I do think word of mouth is really affecting this movie, because we saw with the first one how that just legged out. That was a phenomenon if we've ever seen one. People really, really enjoyed that movie. Here, that doesn't seem to be the case. The word of mouth is not as strong. It didn't plummet or anything. It fell like around 48% this weekend, which isn't bad, but for like the sequel to a $1 billion movie a couple years ago, you would expect for much stronger legs and much stronger word of mouth to really keep the phenomenon status here. So I think this movie's still going to go chugging along. It's still going to be a really strong performer, especially for Illumination and video game movies, but it's definitely going to still come up short of the first movie's height. And I think that's really just a result of just the movie being lackluster for a lot of people. So I think they're going to really have to take some notes from this movie and apply that to the third movie in order to like fix that, so the trend doesn't keep going down. Hopefully it can go back up if they improve with that third movie, but as is, this is looking like it's gonna definitely be less of a success than the first one. Still gonna be huge, still gonna be insanely popular, but not as strong as the first one. And those were your top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet, as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters. And this weekend's big new wide release is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. No, this has nothing to do with Brendan Fraser or even ancient Egyptians. This is about a family whose precious daughter went missing and is then discovered as a mummified, reanimated corpse, and horrible things start to happen when she magically reappears out of the blue. Yeah, this is an odd one. This is an odd one in terms of a horror movie. It's definitely a unique take for a mummy film, especially right now. It's unique and definitely Lee Cronin's version. I think people are going to be on board with this because of the name and just because of how twisted and grotesque this looks. It also is the first big horror movie in a while. The last one I couldn't really remember was Scream 7 back in late February, so I think that's going to bring some people to the theater, and the marketing has been solid. I've seen promos for this a lot recently. I don't want to see them because this movie unnerves me, but I have seen stuff about it and the buzz does seem to be there. I see some people being interested with this, so I could see this being a nice little overperformer this weekend. I don't think it's going to reach the heights of Scream 7, but if it can be in like that Iron Lung range, I think that would still be pretty satisfying to see. So yeah, I'm expecting a nice little opening for The Mummy, but we'll see how well this movie truly does, as well as the rest of the movies that landed in the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.